Knight here. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about leveling up your character or ranking them up. Usually when you finish a quest or something important, you get these little tickets, and the tickets look like this in Japanese. You get little different things. There's a fate point get ticket, and basically there's like a character rank up ticket here, there's a treasure get ticket, and there's like an other get ticket. Basically the GM would like mark out which one this is, write down different stuff on it, and then give it to you whenever the thing is done. And it's like a really cool thing for like real life playing. But as you know, we're playing on Roll20. So if the GM says you get a character rank up ticket, that means you get the ticket that you can spend to then level up your character. So we don't just say, oh, you get to level up. Instead, you get a character rank up ticket. So you can choose to be rank 2 if you wanted to, and just keep it like that for a while. Or rank 1 or whatever. The treasure get tickets are mostly for GMs, so if the GM has a character and he's not able to play, like his character is in town or something else, right? Well, in order to give the GM, treasure that he wouldn't have gotten on the adventure, he gets a treasure get ticket, in which he gets to roll on the treasure table, which is in the item list spreadsheet. You can also roll on the treasure table if the GM allows you to, but it's mostly for just that, is letting the GM with his own character sort of roll on the treasure get table, and that's the way you roll on that is determined by like the number of people in the party and then like the level of the party plus or minus some numbers. It's kind of dumb. It's in the rule book, which is inside the translated rule book is inside of the folder that I link in every description. So go ahead and check the description box in every video. You'll see that I have the Google Docs where I've translated everything for you. Just stuck it up there. You can go ahead and check that out. So the character rank up ticket, I've already talked about that. That lets you rank up by 1. The fate point get ticket can only be used during pre-play, and it gives the user an additional fate point for the duration of the session. Right. So some sessions, when you start on it, you'll get fate points. Other sessions, depending on the quest you're going on, you might not get fate points. So if you spend them, you may not get them again. It just depends on the GM and if they're giving you the fate points back. Otherwise, you're hoping to get one of these tickets. Now, the last one I haven't talked about is Other Get. Other Get is a ticket that is used to like acquire new connections with people, a new union, which is a guild, or even a subclass, right? And you can have multiple subclasses, but you only have one that's active at one time. It's similar to a style or a stance. You can only have one active. So before the session begins, you tell the GM, all right, for this session, I want to be an alchemist. Or for this session, I want to be a border guard. Or for this session, I feel like being an idol or something. You just pick one, and you can't change it during the session. You're stuck with it until the next session or the beginning of the next quest. Until that quest is done, you're pretty much stuck with it. Alright, so let's actually get to increasing the character rank, right? So now when we increase the character rank, I've got Oki here, our guardian, Wolfang Guardian, who's a border guard, so rank 1, and we're going to go ahead and increase his rank, right? So I want you to look at all of his stats here, watch his health, right? We're going to go ahead and increase it by 1, and you're going to notice a bunch of things change. For 1, the health changed, 2, the defense changed, and so did these stats. Now, how is this determined? I'm going to tell you right now. The health change is determined on class, right? So Guardians get 8, Samurais get 8, Monks get 9, Clerics get 6, Druids get 5, Kanagis get 5, Assassins get 5, Swashbucklers get 6, Bards get 5, Sorcerers get 4, Summoners get 5, and Enchanters get 4. You know what that's also like? It's also like when you first made your character. It told you that 8 value or the 9 value or the so-and-so, once you made the character, it told you how much you would get. For instance, let me take off Wolfang here, so you don't see the 16 health. And let me take down rank 1, right? Alright, so you see the 50 here. So once you add the extra rank, it gives you the 8. Now once you go to the quick character creation guide, which is here, it's also inside of the link for the folder. There's a quick character creation guide. It says HP mod plus 8. So now you know that this is talking about every time you level up, you get that plus 8, right? So that's always been there. If you've seen it, now you know what it's for. So we'll put Wolf Fang back on here. Because that's what he is. He's a Wolf Fang. We'll make him back up to level 2. And see that? See how that changed? So every single character, no matter what class they are, gets a +1 to all of their skills, base value. Now, what this does is it makes all of your other abilities that increase those values really important, because that's the only way you're going to get a leg up on some of these values, right? So if you didn't start with like 7 base value and then boosted it with like a training skill or something, you're gonna have like a middling to okay like mod value. And this comes into play once you're talking about difficulty for different skills. So I've got this neat handy difficulty chart here since I GM a lot of games, and this is how I determine my checks, right? So on character rank 1, a hard difficulty check is 11. And the reason that is you're rolling 2 dice plus a mod value, right? So 2 dice, if you roll super good, both 6s, that's 12, plus a 3, that's 15. So obviously that looks like you crushed it. But if I were to take out like Wolf's Constitution, which took out, 4 base strength, I wouldn't have like all this strength, right? And I would just fucking lose super hard on that. In fact, I bet if I went all the way down to 1 strength, I'd probably fucking I would barely pass it. By 1 point, I would pass the hard check. Just to give you an idea of how hard it would be, right? But if I took away my general training skill, remember how I said in one of the first videos of creating a character, training skills are very powerful? If I were to take away this training skill by 1 point, I would have failed. They're very strong. Very strong indeed. Alright, so as you can see, as the character ranks go up, the difficulty checks get harder. And you don't have to use this chart. I use it because for me, it's quick, dirty, easy when you're mid-game to just go ahead and use it. But let's get out of here. Alright, so every class, gets +1 to their stats. And every 3 base value, you get 1 extra mod value. So see how it's on 11? When I go up to rank 2, I have a mod value of 4 to my strength. 4. And my dexterity goes to 1, which means when I try to evade, I have now a +1 to my evade roll. So I'm not completely worthless at evading, but it's still pretty bad. Power, still nothing. Still nothing in resisting, so if I get hit with a magic spell, it's probably going to hit. But, intelligence is pretty good still. But, man, I can mitigate some damage, tell you what. Anyway, let's talk about the skills. This is what a lot of people want to know about. Alright, so before character rank 11, this is important. Character rank 11, technically your maximum character rank for book 1 was character rank 10. You weren't able to go further than 10 until the second book came out. Once the second book came out, they released rules for advancing your character beyond character rank 10, which is 11 and onward. So once you hit character rank, once you level up, let me start there. Once you level up, you get 2 combat skills and 1 general skill, right? So at rank 2, I have 2 new combat skills I can put anywhere. In addition, because I'm now character rank 2, I can have skills that are skill rank 2, because you can only increase a skill as high as your character rank. And that's important to remember. So if I wanted my Scarlet Thrust to be even better, I could lower it down, right? And see right here where it says skill rank? I could just increase that by 1, right? And because the recovery portion is the only thing that's affected here, I just have to remember this part. Because if I try to add it here, it's just going to add it into the damage calculation, and that's a bunch of craziness. I just remember that one for Scarlet Thrust. It's like a special case. But if I were to put it in Standout, I increase it here, then I just have to remember I can use it this many times per scene. Two times. Let's see. And what I like to do, instead of just boosting 1 skill, like this isn't what I would do. I wouldn't put the point in the Scarlet Thrust, honestly. If you look at the skill list here, let me go to Guardian. If you look here, you'll notice different timings, right? You're going to want to get like one ability for each timing because it allows you to do more stuff, right? So I've already got Scarlet Thrust, which is a major timing. So why don't I get something that's a minor timing, right? So minor, heavy anchor stance. It's a stance. I don't have a stance yet. Why not this? Target becomes unable to make normal moves or safe moves except force movements. If the skill's effect ends, if either you leave the target square. This skill's effect ends if either of you, if either you or the target leave the square. So this is actually really good because you don't want the enemy to leave you even if you lose hate, right? So even if you lose hate, you don't want him to leave you. So I would take this ability. This ability sounds super good. This ability also sounds good, and it's a move action. So you may make a normal move up to your speed square. When you end movement, if there are enemies in the adjacent square, you may choose to make a safe move force. You may choose one of them to make a safe move force to the square you're in. So this makes them come into your square, right? So both of these are good because enemies, for heavy anchor stance, enemies can sometimes make safe moves, teleports, or just fly away. And it's very hard to keep them locked down if you lose threat. So even if you lose threat, you still want an ability to stop them from leaving. And doing this will allow you to do that while at the same time allowing you to do more things in your turn, right? You want to be able to use up all of your different actions, not just sit there and do one thing per turn while everybody else is doing who knows what, increasing their hate or doing whatever. Iron Bounce before damage. If you don't have a before damage roll, maybe this would be good for you. Let's see. Use this skill when you receive damage from the target. You may make the target make a safe move square to bring the target closer to you. That's super good. Hey, look, I've got a two-handed ability. I've got a two-handed weapon, I mean. After damage, it also increases my hate. That sounds really good to me. I can do it once per round. That's super, like, usable. That sounds really good for me. Like, why wouldn't I take that? Um, this just reduces damage I take. Also increases my hate. No limit. Before damage, I could use this on every single attack I take. Like, an enemy hits me. Well, this sounds amazing because guess what? As a guardian, I'm not rolling evasion dice like that. I'm going to get hit. Reduces expected HP damage. That means you are effectively reducing damage that is going into your HP that's not being negated by your armor. This is like barrier. This will reduce direct damage. That's amazing. Iron Bounce, I'd probably take. Fish to catch. Uh, what is it? Where was it? Heavy anchor stance, dragon territory. Those are great. I would take those. We're not using a shield, so shield mastery is not great. Block missile is not great for us. Like anything with a shield right now is not really great for us. Some of the lower ones here, you'll notice it says acquired with character rank 11 or higher. And this is actually what this means. This is going to come up later. I know it is. I don't think I talked about it in the skill block video, which is I'm sorry for that. Basically, as soon as you get character rank 11, automatic upgrade. It just upgrades. And you get all those skill points back. So don't worry about wasting your skill points. You do get your skill points that you put into it back. So if you look at Scarlet Thrust, it's got 5 skill points you can throw into it. But if you look at the Scarlet Thrust 2, it only has 1. Well, that means you get 4 points back. So you can put those 4 points anywhere you want. So that's really good too. Okay, so let's talk about. We already know how to put them in, right? I'm just talking about what we can do when we have the skills. But I will go ahead and throw them in anyway. So let's go ahead and do what I said I was going to do. We'll throw in. I really like fish to catch. That's super nice. That's super cool. It's super good. So we'll do fish to catch. Let me move this over here so I can do this faster. Max skill rank is only 1. An automatic check. Change that to automatic. Right. Bam, look at that. Range is 4 squares. Hate is 1. Once per round. Target single. Timing is after damage. Got a tag for two-handed, so you got to make sure you're two-handed. Bing, bada, boom. That's done. Next combat skill. Let's see. Let me think. Do I want... Do we want... that's a good question. We never looked at the warrior tree. We just looked at guardian. And remember, you can take from your racial, your common, subclass. You can take from a lot of places. You don't have to just look at your class. You don't have to limit yourself. Look here, smash. You can get more damage on a minor. Look at this, faultless hit on a minor. You gain 1 extra die to bonus to hit checks. So you can basically have that extra hit die that DPS get innately for a minor. It's not the worst thing in the world. It is not the worst thing in the world. Assault stance, that's if you're doing more damage. Fortress stance. While in the stance, pursuit and weakness effects on you never trigger, and you cannot be subject to forced movement, but you take a -2 penalty to hit checks. That's pretty big. -2 penalty. We have a +4 right now. That's it. We don't have the extra hit die like DPS do. So that -2 is actually pretty big. And honestly, when we roll with Scarlet Thrust, we're doing some pretty nice damage for a rank 2 right now. That's 24 physical, right? I like Relief Guard, honestly. You may make a normal move up to your speed square after you end your movement. If there are any allies in the same square as you, they each may reduce their hate by -2. That affects not only one guy, that affects everybody in that square, and it's -2. You can do it once per scene, it's a move, and for a minor action, you can increase the distance by +1. Now, as a Wolf Fang, there is a racial ability, I believe, to increase your base speed by +1. Let me check that out real fast. I think it's here. I might be thinking of another race, though. Am I thinking of another race? Oh, here it is. When you are not equipped with heavy armor or medium armor, you gain a +1 bonus of speed. We are currently equipped with heavy armor, so that wouldn't help us out. But I was right about the +1 to speed. So if we wanted to do something kind of jank, we could make that skill work even better for us as a guardian, but I don't think we want to go that jank. I think we're going to go with heavy anchor stance, because there's a lot of situations in which the enemy tries to leave you, and you don't want them to leave your square. You just want them to stay on you and no one else. And here's the kicker. If that enemy only has melee attacks and no ranged attacks at all, like you're not seeing the enemy do any ranged attacks, and you lose top hate, but he can't leave your square. But he cannot leave your square. That means you also enjoy a +2 bonus to dodge. And on top of that, hate damage doesn't trigger if you're not hate top. So if you're able to keep him there and the ranged guys pull aggro, like your spellcasters or something, and you can just hold him there, that's free damage. He's not going to hurt you as bad. Let the ranged go ahead and build up as much hate as they want. At that point, who cares? So I think this ability will be the best bang for our buck in this case. So target single. It's super good on bosses. You kill all their minions. You just have all of your friends get 4 squares or greater away and just have them nuke the crap out of them. Super, super good. So that's what I would do with my second combat skill. Now, I know we spent a lot of time on combat skill, so let me talk about the general skill. Every level up before character rank 11, you also get one general skill. Now, for general skills, I have them colored purple here, so they're easier to differentiate, I believe is the correct way to say it, from the other skills. And there is, I don't think it's actually, this one's really good because it lets all of your friends move at the same time. Let me see the other general skills here. Honestly, I might take I can't take another training skill because I only have 2 right now. You're only allowed to take 2. So I can't take survivability. Payload's good because not everything actually stacks, so having more inventory slots actually works. Soldier Coerce is nice because you make a hit check instead of a negotiation check. So basically, use a skill when you make a negotiation check against a hostile character. You make a hit check instead of a negotiation check. So you're in middle of a battle, and before damage, this is something that the GM would really have to decide on. But that's super nice too. But you can just roll accuracy instead of rolling negotiation. Like you're probably not gonna have a lot of POW as a guardian, so that's super good there. This is nice because you get a starting fate point. Like shoot, I might just take that because I have no fate points right now. Bastard weaponry. Move the tag from the skill.
Hello.
Oh, this is nice. It adds +1 endurance checks to other people, but not you. Cute. Let me see. 2 timing setup actions. That can be pretty good. But we don't have 2 timing setup actions right now, so let's not go with that. Yo! What about this? Heavy Arms Mastery. Not a training. The negative initiative modifiers on all items you have become 0. I like that. I do remember this from earlier too. So we could take that. We could also take Long Stride. Use it at the same time as run or dash. Increase the distance moved by +1 square. So we could do that. Or we could take initiative bonus. Initiative bonus or dashing. So let's think about this for a second. Our initiative bonus right now is currently 0 because our +2 from our spear is being negated by the heavy armor. So if we took this, we would have a +2 to initiative. Having the initiative usually will let you start out pretty good with threat if you don't have enemies that are further than you currently are. However, I can tell you for a fact that starting out a fight at a long range sucks as a guardian. Because there's not a lot of ways to generate threat from long range. So you need to be able to generate threat from close range, unless you use a minor action to swap to a bow or something. But remember, we took a spear ability, which means we can't just swap to a bow and then use Scarlet Thrust. So that's also something to remember with all these weapon tagged skills here. Merciless Strike, it's a 2 hate. Guess what? You can use a bow with that. Range is weapon. If you want to throw on a bow and then shoot with Merciless Strike, you can do that. And that will give you that 2 hate, like how Scarlet Thrust gives 2 hate. But for me, I wanted to go with a certain style, and because of that, I think what I want here is Long Stride. Long Stride will allow me to get to that enemy and do the hate, so even if my teammates go before me and get hate, by the time my turn comes around, I'll have hate. So hopefully the enemies don't have enough initiative to be above me, and I can still get hate. So I'm going to go with Long Stride in this situation. Maybe next level, I would take Heavy Arms Mastery, because you only really need to get to the first enemy in order to have Long Stride be really useful. So let's go ahead and add this down here, because it's a general skill, so it goes on the bottom. Be increased to rank 3. I'll move this back over here so it's faster again. Timing refer, limit, no cost. So you uncheck the box for cost so it doesn't show up. Target itself. You just copy paste the effect in there. Bing, bada, boom. That's done. All right. So now we get to talk about what happens when you increase your character rank to 11. And I might have talked about this a little bit earlier. But hopefully I didn't, because the way I had this video set up wouldn't make sense then. So basically, once you get to character rank 11, you no longer get 2 combat skills. You only get 1. That's the only change for character rank 11, besides the fact that you also get the ability to choose a new training skill. Now, like I've said, training skills are extremely powerful. Some of the ones I like the best, I'll just go ahead and show you. I usually don't like to show this off because I feel like it makes a lot of the builds the same build over and over and over again. But honestly, it'll make you guys better players once you figure this out anyway. Like, you'll survive more and you'll do better things. So obviously training, you get +3 to the chosen base stat. That's a straight up mod value. Straight up, there's a mod point for you, right? The other one, go up here. Weapon mastery, super good. It's actually better, in my opinion, than attack mastery. For weapon mastery, every skill point you put into it, you get an extra die when you deal weapon attack damage made with the chosen tag, right? So any damage you do with the weapon you're currently holding is increased. So, for instance, on Oki, I took Weapon Mastery Spear. That gave me a whole extra die, so I have 3d6 instead of 3d6. I have 4d6 instead of 3d6 to attack damage rolls. That increases my damage by a lot more than you might think. So I like to think of things in averages. So a d6 is about an average of 3 damage, 3d6 being 9 damage. Yeah, 3d6 being 9 damage. Yeah. I don't know why I had to think about that like 3 times in a row. But when you compare that to the potential of that compared to attack mastery right here, it's 5 skill points. You have to invest more in attack mastery than you would weapon mastery. That's 5 times 2. That's 10 attack power to everything, right? When you compare 9 average damage to 10 damage straight up, they're basically the same. 1 point off. And weapon mastery can do more afterwards. In addition, it costs less. It's 2 points less. That's amazing. You save 2 combat points you can put anywhere else you want? Hell yeah, do that. So, just gonna put that out there in the world. Otherwise, 14 star, it's good. 2 starting fate points. Physical toughness, not good on a DPS or a healer, but it's good on a tank. And then there's also training skills of the classes. Most of the training skills and classes aren't really that great. This one doesn't even have any, from what I can tell. There should be some though. Maybe it's in the warrior section. Yeah, here it is. Plus 10 max HP. Like, the exhaustion table roll is good because it affects everybody, but you know, the plus 10 max HP is like 6 less than the 16. I don't know. I wouldn't take that. The training, like, the training skills are so limited. By character rank 11, you have 3. 3. They're so limited. I wouldn't take survivability. Not for how little training skills you get. Even with that ability now. Anyway, I'm stuck on character rank 11 forever, so let me go ahead and fast forward to the high rank of character rank 21. It's a rank that not even my own campaign that had been going on for years have actually gotten to. I believe the highest rank we got to is 16, which I can go ahead and show off what one of those characters looks like. I think I'll show you one of mine. Where is she at? I think she's in here somewhere. Here she is. This is a werecat named Mom. So she's an assassin that got up to character rank 16. And she's got a bunch of skills. A bunch. And look at her dexterity. She's got 9 mod value with 29 dexterity. Like, when she rolls disable, she's rolling a crap ton of dice. And that's actually a crit disable too. So, anyway. Once you get to character rank 21, you get another training skill. That's pretty much the only difference from 11 to 21. You just get a 4th training skill. Right? So here she's got Weapon Mastery Bow. She's got Cat's Grace, and she's got Training Dex. Well, that's just about all the stuff I told you was good. So that's +4 base Dex. That's +3 base Dex. And then Weapon Mastery Bow. She uses a bow. She uses Wind's Whisper. And she has it, the ability on it lets her increase the range by like +1. So yeah. You'll be doing crazy damage in no time. For instance, this is like 24. The rapid shot is like 85 is about average. And it attacks twice, target 2. So you can hit the same guy twice if you wanted to, and increase the damage by 8. And here's the kind of things you can do when you have other abilities to also pop. Fleeting Ghost. You make yourself invisible at the end of the main process. So you just shot somebody and they have no clue where you are. I mean, that did cost like 4, maybe 5 hate. But if your tank is good enough, you can do it. You can also do things like Shake Off to lower like other people's hates. Stuff like that. Or lower your hate. You can do a lot of stuff like with the hate system. In fact, let me just show off some of the skills now. I've already talked about leveling up and the different points of leveling up and at what point you get different things. So I'll quickly go over that before I talk about this. You start out from 1 to 10. 2 combat skills, 1 general skill. From 11 onward, 1 combat skill, 1 general skill. From 1 to 10, 2 training. From 11 to 21, from 11 to 20, 1 training, extra on top. 21 onward, 1 training on top. 4 trainings total at the end of that. Alright, let me talk about this real fast. DPS, DPS, DPS. Let's talk about hate. I'm going to add this in at the end of this video. Fake Death. Once per scenario. Super good. Even though it's once per scenario. Reduce hate by 5. Anything that reduces your hate, let's just put it out there, super good. Because even if it's not reducing your hate, and it says, oh, it reduces your allies' hate. For instance, healers have pacification. It's a major timing. Wow, you can't heal during your turn. Right? Heals right here. Oh no, I can't heal. Well, if you reduce somebody's hate, you might not even have to heal them. Like, oh, the DPS pulled aggro, pacification, reduce their hate by 3. Most of their abilities are only going to do 2 hate, unless they decide to boost them up like dummies with like other abilities that increase their hate. So, and even Swashbuckler has abilities like this. Where is it? It's like Stormheart. You can not only target other allies, you know, with the skill, but you can reduce the target's hate by the number of enemies that were damaged during the main process of your weapon attack. That's super good. Discard. This is a weird one. It's a minor ability, minor timing that only other people can use. Like, it's weird. Like, you can't use it, but other people can. And it's like, you can minus 1 target's hate, and this feat can be used more than once in the same main process. So that's super cool. And if you wanted to increase your hate, you can change the range to 4. And if you're equipped with a shield, you can even subtract another hate. So Swashbucklers with a shield. Why not? Get some cool build value out of some of these. I don't know. I just felt like I had to add that on the end because hate is a big mechanic to the game, and if you ignore it, you're just gonna get punished. Like, it's gonna be bad. You're gonna take so much damage and just wipe the party. Well, thanks for watching my video. Please leave a comment and subscribe. I'm planning to make more videos. If you guys have ideas on videos, this video is actually based on the idea of James, who has been watching the videos and just subscribed. I appreciate all of the support you're giving me, man. You gave me the idea for this video. It all goes to you, man. Peace out.